Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we are going to be doing some more shorter-term technical analysis on Bitcoin because, guys, we have just had a very important, critical, bearish development on the Bitcoin chart. As you guys may know, over the last week or so, Bitcoin has been in a downtrend, and last night, Bitcoin actually set a lower low on the 4-hourly and on the daily chart. Bitcoin's been setting lower highs ever since we set a local high of $10,400 about a month ago, but now we've actually started setting lower lows as well, meaning we are in a technical downtrend. In this video, we're going to be looking at this development and many of the other technical and fundamental developments going on in the space right now to come to a conclusion about whether or not Bitcoin is about to break $9,000 and start heading a lot lower. I think you guys are going to get a lot of good value out of this video. As always, if you do enjoy, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It really helps out the channel when you do that. And before we get started, I'd just like to mention CT2A, guys. If you haven't joined the Academy, now is a great time to do it because on July the 1st, about 4 days from now, the price of CT2A will be increasing, but for the next 4 days, you can get it for $40 off. So you'll actually be saving $90 on the total course price. If you guys want to learn everything you need to know about technical analysis, including risk to reward ratios, math psychology, market structure, intuition, this might be the most important video in the entire Academy right here. I encourage you to check us out at the link in the description down below. More on that at the end of the video, but for now though, guys, without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Guys, we've been talking about Bitcoin entering a correction for the last week or so, ever since I got back from Gatlinburg. And guys, I'll be honest with you, that's been my position for a while now. I've been talking a lot about the longer-term bullish factors as we haven't had much to talk about on the short term. But I hope you guys aren't surprised if Bitcoin starts to break bearish here because the writing really is on the wall. As always, before I even get into this video, I want to encourage you guys, before you go and make any trades or any investments or do anything, don't just take my word as gospel. Make sure you're doing your own technical analysis. I have been wrong in the past, I will be wrong in the future, just like you guys have. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump onto the chart. There is quite a lot to cover here, but the very first thing that we need to talk about is actually in the title of this video, the lower low that we've just seen on Bitcoin. As you guys can see here on the 1-hourly chart with candle wicks, we can see the absolute lows that Bitcoin has set over the last month or so since the beginning of May. We have 4 major ones. The first low, and really it's a set of lows, occurred right here on May the 10th and May the 11th, around $8,160. From there, our second low occurred right here at the end of May, around May 25th, and Bitcoin had a low there of around $8,600. A higher low, that's a good sign. Third major low we see on the chart is right here, happened on the 15th of June, and Bitcoin set a low around $8,900, almost exactly. And now we have another one right here where we can see that Bitcoin set a low around $8,800 just last night. Now, at first, on the surface, that might not seem significant. Bitcoin only fell $100 below the most recent low that we saw being set in mid-June. But I'm here to tell you it is, because at the end of the day, uptrends and downtrends are defined pretty simply by saying, are you setting consecutive higher highs and higher lows, or are you setting consecutive lower highs and lower lows? And also, if you're setting lower highs and higher lows, then you're in a consolidation pattern, and those tend to be continuation patterns. Those will tend to break upwards if Bitcoin was moving upwards into them, as we were. Bitcoin was trending to the upside before we started this sideways movement, so if this is a consolidation pattern, if this is a symmetrical triangle pattern and a pennant, then we would expect Bitcoin to break to the upside. However, if Bitcoin was trading sideways here and then all of a sudden starts a new downtrend, that is no longer a bull flag, a pennant, a symmetrical triangle pattern, or any of that. It's simply the beginning of a downtrend. So the question now becomes that we've had these lower highs and lower lows right here. Is Bitcoin now entering a downtrend? Well, guys, as always, you're going to find people looking at this in 2 different ways. One way that people are going to be looking at this is we were in an uptrend, started a descending triangle pattern, and that's going to be resultant in a bull flag movement, and Bitcoin will break to the upside. That is very possible. Don't get me wrong, technical analysis is about probabilities, not about certainties. And there is a possibility that Bitcoin breaks to the upside here, and it does use this as some kind of descending bull flag. But statistically speaking, and especially if you look at the way the rest of the market is acting right now, that does not look like what's going to happen for the short term. By short term, I mean the next 10 to 20 days or so. Don't forget all the bearish technicals we've talked about. We have a death cross here on the daily chart between our 20 and our 50. Stochastic RSI dived down here into oversold territory, which yes, does mean that Bitcoin might have a short-term bounce, but Stochastic RSI and RSI operate a little differently. You need to understand that. MACD has started to converge bullish on itself. That is a good sign, but also keep in mind that we're having a green candlestick after 5 days of red. Of course, we're going to see some kind of short-term bounce here. That would make sense, but that does not invalidate the longer-term trend. Even if Bitcoin rallies to 90 $300 before this video goes out, that doesn't invalidate the downtrend because we haven't set a higher high. Until we set a high above $9,600 and $9,800, Bitcoin is in a technical downtrend. It can do whatever it wants in that space. Also remember that volume has jumped off a cliff. Open interest has crashed as we see the longs and the shorts going down. Worldwide search interest in the key term Bitcoin has been decreasing as well. And we recently topped out on the top of the Kumo cloud out on the weekly chart. I want to make myself very clear here. There are bearish technicals and there are bullish technicals. However, when you look at the bullish and the bearish technicals, what do you find? You find that most of the bullish technicals are showing up on the weekly chart to the monthly chart. They're showing up on longer-term fundamentals. However, the bearish technicals are showing up on the daily chart, the 4-hourly chart. They're showing up on the shorter time frames. There are bullish technicals and there are bearish technicals right now, but they're separated into two camps. We have the bullish longer-term technicals and the bearish shorter-term technicals. Bitcoin looks healthy for the rest of this year and on into 2021. But, however, please understand what I'm saying here because a lot of people have been misunderstanding me lately. I'm not saying the long term is bearish on Bitcoin. Quite the opposite. The short term on Bitcoin, however, most certainly is. Now, by the way, just because the technical analysis says that Bitcoin is going to the downside, which, by the way, it does say that, does not mean that Bitcoin is going to. There are instances where Bitcoin will reject the technical analysis. There are instances where Bitcoin will ignore the technical analysis and do exactly the opposite of what it says you would expect the market to do. That is, however, rare. That is normally going to result at the end of a pennant pattern when Bitcoin is very narrow and Bitcoin can very easily have a domino chain reaction effect from a whale coming into the space or some kind of news story, or it sometimes happens when Bitcoin is trading around support or resistance and some whale or news story comes in and influences the market in a major way. We're not really around either one of those right now, so it's unlikely that the technical analysis is going to be ignored. People say the technical analysis is invalid because whales control the market, and in my experience, that is resoundingly false. There are some cases where whales will move the market, like the ones I just talked about, but it is rare. More often than not, technical analysis does have a very strong predictive power, especially if you understand when to not use technical analysis and when to sit out of the market because you understand your tools are a little less useful at that time than they might otherwise normally be. What we've just seen, guys, seems small on the surface, but is actually very important. We've just seen a lower low on the daily chart, and that does mean that Bitcoin has now officially entered a short-term downtrend. Whether or not that evolves into something that lasts a lot longer is yet to be seen. But from this point forward, unless Bitcoin has a bounce above our recent high around $9,700, I will be treating Bitcoin as it is in a downtrend. You don't want to bet against the trend because remember, the trend is your friend until it ends. So here's my advice. This is not financial advice. This is friendly advice. It's a different kind of FA. Until Bitcoin gets above $9,700, because that's our recent high, treat Bitcoin as if it is in a downtrend. Like I said, the trend is your friend until it ends. In the first cohort, our private Discord server that you can join with the link in the description down below, there are a couple of channels in the welcome tab when you join. One of them is called the Trading Checklist, along with many others. I have a big 5 trading checks that you should go through before you make any trade. I'm not going to read them because you can read them when you join, but there are also several other checks that I add in there. One of those is, are you trading with or against the trend? Why? You need to have a reason to be trading against the trend if you were going to do so, because otherwise you would be safer to trade with the trend. If you have a very specific reason to trade against the trend, a good example right now would be this. If you were to trade buy right now to hold for 6 months and you're doing a long-term swing trade like that, that's okay because you're trading against a short-term trend in agreement with a longer-term trend, because the longer-term trend right now is bullish. The shorter-term trend is bearish. I hope you understand the difference between those. But if you're trying to make a short-term bullish movement right now, you're trading against a short-term downtrend. Why are you doing that? You need to answer yourself that question. So guys, if you'd like, in tomorrow's video, we can get into some more trading setups about how exactly you might go about trading this market, what you might do in this market. So tell me if you are interested in that. I hope this video has been valuable to you. If it has been, tell us in the comment section down below what you thought. What are your opinions? Where do you think Bitcoin is going? And make sure you drop a like on this video if you did enjoy. It really helps out the channel when you do that. Before we go, guys, I do want to mention the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy because, hang on, let me give you a side note. Before I even talk about CT2A, I want to mention why the Academy actually exists. It is twofold. Number one, the point of this channel has been and forever will be to educate you guys who are newer to the space, and even those of you who are much more advanced in the space, on the art of technical analysis, because it's been one of the most profitable skills I have ever learned, and it has changed my life for the better, and I know it can change yours. I've watched it do it to nearly 2,000 of our students. That is the primary purpose of the Academy, and that will always be the primary purpose of this channel and this business, is to help you guys advance your understanding of these markets so that you can work in them profitably. But the other reason that we built built CT2A, and I'm not going to shy away from this and try and pretend like it doesn't matter to me like a lot of people will do. One of the reasons that CT2A was built was to generate revenue for this business. I mean, it's obvious, guys. I do this for fun. I would do this for free for the rest of my life. This is something that's never going to go away. But to bring you guys high-quality content, it does cost money, you know? And CT2A is what allows us to finance that. This microphone right here, the microphone alone is $400. The stand it's on is $150, and it's going through about $1,000 worth of audio processing equipment. $1,500 camera you're watching, a couple $100 worth of lighting. These sound panels, see that black panel back there? There's 4 more of them on these walls right here. Each one of those is $80 a piece. This computer is worth like $3,000. We're moving into an office space. It's going to be $3,500 a month. So we have to pay for these things so that we can continue bringing you guys high quality content. So a lot of people will try and say, oh, well, I don't care about the money. I'm just trying to be a good look, I want to do that. That is a huge motivator for me, but these things need to be paid for. And that's why CT2A is here. I'm not saying that to justify myself. I'm not saying that because I think it needs to be said. I'm saying that because I want you guys to understand a little bit more of what goes on behind the scenes on this channel. And we're going to be doing more of that with the second channel that we'll be launching later on this year. So now that that's said, you might understand why I talk about CT2A quite a bit is because we have a lot of expenses coming up and you guys seem to be loving the Academy, so it's a win-win for both of us. With that said, the Academy here is what allows this channel to be possible, and it's an amazing setup that we have here. You can literally go into the comment section of any video we make and you're going to see at least one person talking about how much they love the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. At the time of recording this video, there's 1,838 members. We have a full 14-day money-back refund guarantee. You snap your fingers by sending me an email, and you will get all of your money back, and yet we've only had about 20 people do that in the 2 years that the Academy has been active. Why is that happening? Why does pretty much no one refund the course? Because it's a good product. Duh. In the Academy, you're going to learn everything from the introductory stuff, the setup stuff for how to actually use technical analysis, how to set up and use TradingView. This is a 35-minute, high-quality, well-structured video that's going to teach you everything about technical analysis through TradingView, all of the different buttons, all of the different tools that I use here on the channel, and more. We even have a video on how to read CoinMarketCap, because a lot of people don't realize this website over here, CoinMarketCap, is actually very complicated. There's a lot of different tools in here that you can use, and understanding them is actually very important to your technical analysis. That's something that you might not have noticed if you hadn't have had someone to point it out to you like we do at CT2A. We also have a breakdown of every single technical indicator used in the course. This is the list of them right here. Several more videos will be added to this relatively soon, and then we actually have the technical analysis portion of the Academy. There is about 6 hours of content in this block right here that is going to teach you what it took me 2 years to learn. If you guys think technical analysis is a skill worth learning, and I can tell you from personal experience and from the testimony of everyone I've seen in this space, it most certainly is an important skill to learn. I'm going to be able to help you learn it, and I'm going to help you cut down on that massive learning curve that I had to go through. It took me 2 years to learn all this stuff. More than that, I'm still learning. Every time I learn something, I think, how can I put that into an Academy video so that I can teach it to other people for free? Because you get all current and all future content when you join the Academy. At the end of the day, guys, it's a great product. I'm going to shut up about it here in a couple days after the sale is over, but I do want you guys to understand what we're offering and where all of those funds are going, because I want to also make something very clear here at the end of the video. I don't buy myself anything. I will tell you the 2 times that I've spent money on myself this year. I bought this hoodie and some other, apparel stuff at when we were in Gatlinburg. I'll admit I spent some money on some of that, and I bought a new television yesterday, or the day before yesterday. Other than that, that's pretty much the only money I've spent on myself this entire year. Everything that this channel makes goes right back into the business account that I can look at on my phone, and all of it gets reinvested into payroll, employment taxes, federal taxes, state taxes, you know, your mama taxes, whatever kind of taxes. There's so many taxes. Lights, camera, gear, office, down payment, security deposits, all kinds of things that money goes towards, guys. Any of you that operate a small business understand what I'm talking about. I've spent a bunch of money on furnishing out this office so that I can be more organized. There's a filing cabinet over there. There's $200. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of a cool filing cabinet. But guys, like I said, I'm not saying any of this to justify it. I'm saying this because I want you to understand, because I have such an incredible burning passion for running this. I love making these videos every day. I am the happiest point of my day. Guys, you can't see it because I have like long sleeves on, but the hairs on my arms are standing up. I'm serious. The happiest point of my day is when I get to sit down and make these videos, and that's why I ramble sometimes, because I don't want it to end. I love talking to you guys here, even though I'm sitting in this room talking to myself, and no one's going to see it for a couple hours. But guys, great things are coming this year. We're going to be doing a lot of good in the world. I'm just so excited. I can't even put it into words. But we are going to in the channel that we're making soon. Anyway, guys, I hope you did enjoy today's video. As always, if you did, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. We've got a great project going on here, and I'm really looking forward to bringing you guys even higher quality content, helping you guys learn technical analysis even more. We have so many plans going on in the background. It's just going to take some time. So thank you guys for listening to my rants. Thank you guys for watching. We've got so many projects coming. We've got so many things planned, and I'm really excited about all of it. But guys, before I go, there is just one thing I want to say. Because as always, before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.